King's Country, kingscountry.net with Steve Earle. I'm Jim King of the radio. Thanks for being here. We're going to give you previews of the TV show because we're celebrating a magnificent milestone this weekend, for those of you keeping track. 960, episode 960, but who's keeping count? Check it out this weekend. It's all about Mark Chestnut and George Jones. Got some previews on the way. We'll play some audio from the show. But right now, without further ado, Sugarland, something more on King's Country.
Welcome to the big show.
Wop papa loo bop. Wop papa loo bop.
He could go all the way.
Wop papa loo bop.
King's Country, kingscountry.net. Jim King of the radio with two words for you. Well, I guess it's three words. Hook 'em horns. Yeah, tonight, Texas plays Ohio State for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Last night, first college football semifinal game between Penn State and Notre Dame went down to the wire with only 36 seconds remaining and tied at 24. The Fighting Irish intercepted a pass, maintained possession, and attempted this game-winning field goal.
41-yard attempt. Snap and hold are good. The kick is good! Notre Dame has won the Orange Bowl, and Marcus Freeman is taking them to the championship game.
King's Country at kingscountry.net. Thanks for riding shotgun with me, Jim King of the radio, through the 11 o'clock hour. Cruising into the noon hour with some great stuff on the way from the likes of Kenny Chesney, His Royal Highness, Billy Ray Cyrus, King George. Oh, but looky here. Straight ahead, it's Daryl Singletary, the late, great Daryl. That's why I'm having a fabulous flashback.
King of the road.
Fabulous flashback to the early 2000s with the late, great Daryl Singletary in Winnie. All right, King of the Road's having too much fun now. It is Daryl Singletary here on the show. Hey, good to see you, bud.
Good to see you, Jim.
You got a new album called Now and Again?
Yes, I do.
How's it doing?
It's doing well, actually. I hear that after playing here at the Rice Festival, that record's going to be number one. So
oh, definitely.
We got our fingers crossed that's going to happen to us.
Well, you bet, man.
I hope so.
Where you been?
We came here to Winnie from Waco, Texas. Unfortunate thing with Chris Ledoux and this the liver thing, he had to cancel a show this in Waco, and I think at Billy Bob's, and we actually covered for him. Myself and Doug Stone were in Waco at the Heart of Texas Fair.
That's Daryl Singletary here on the King of the Road Show. Good to hear you. I Let Her Lie. That's probably my favorite song of yours.
Oh, well, thank you. Y'all like I Let Her Lie?
Yeah!
Oh, the sun's gonna shine in my life once more.
King's Country at kingscountry.net. It's a TGIF. That means my TV show debuts in just a few moments on the CW here in the Golden Triangle. It played last night on Strike TV, 12:30 today. And also a preview during News at Noon on KFDM, which there is in progress right as I speak. But I'll give you an audio preview right now. This is a Chestnut and Jones episode because they are old friends going way back. Yeah, Mark was friends with the possum George Jones until the man died in 2013. So the show is about that. We're going to have Mark Chestnut in the Royal Spotlight. I'm going to re-air a video that I produced with Freddie Pate, featuring Freddie Pate, performing a song called The Gospel According to Jones. It's a great video. I'm very proud of it. I edited it, shot it at the Honky Tonk, Texas. We're going to kick it off with a couple of segments, including this one about the early days of Mark Chestnut. Check out this audio sample.
Jim King of the Road. Jim King of the Road.
Oh, my daddy had a job on an oil rig, but he did his living at a Cuban again. He played guitar with a mighty hand, but he left again on the promised land.
Once upon a time in Beaumont, Texas, there was a little old nightclub on College Street named Cutter.
Well, it seems sometimes I can hear it still.
And it's where country stars Mark Chestnut and Tracy Byrd got their first big breaks. Back then, it was Mark Chestnut and the New South Band, along with Tracy Byrd and Heartbroken.
You can touch the sky.
A few years earlier, Mark first hit the stage on the Charlie Pruitt Country Music Show.
We got a hometown boy coming up right now. When we had auditions 3 weeks ago, he got up and sang his 2 songs. Then he got up and sang about 15 songs after that, after we had a jam session. And you're going to like this fella, because he's a good one. He's 18 years old, and he comes from Southport, Texas, and his name is Mark Chestnut. Come on out here, Mark, and give it to me.
Of course, Mark ended up honky-tonking his way all the way to Nashville and the top of the country charts numerous times.
Well, I only planned on 1 or 2. I might stay for 3 if that good-looking thing in the corner keeps smiling back at me. Getting any better than goodbye.
Hello, Mark. Welcome back. Mark, I know this is a thrill for you because George is your hero.
That's right. Greatest. I'm nervous. I'm scared to death right now. I've been on this show about 5 or 6 times, and I just about started getting comfortable with it, about all these cameras and things, and then I have to sing in front of George Jones.
Well, you're doing a good job, son.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, George has always been my main inspiration, I guess, because my daddy grew up here in Beaumont, and George spent a lot of time here, living here. And back in the 50s, Daddy and George were buddies. They were hanging around together and running the beer joints around here. And so I've always been fascinated with George Jones. And I met him back in the 80s. I was with a band that happened to play a fundraiser for Sheriff Mike Holthaffel over in Hardin County. I think George had gotten in some trouble down there, and that was part of his deal. He had to go play a free show for the sheriff, and I opened up that night. That's when I first met him, and he remembered my daddy, and we talked. And after that, I did several shows opening up at Jones Country when he had that, and we've been friends ever since.
Retirement don't fit in my plan. You can keep your seat, I'm gonna stand. Eskimo needs your Frigidaire.
I need your rocking chair.
I don't need no rocking chair. You don't need your rocking chair. You're tall and Medicare. You're tall and Medicare.
Got a little neon in my brain.
All of my life.
King's Country at kingscountry.net. That's Dolly Parton. I'm Jim King of the radio. Stay with me. We got Big and Rich coming up. Also, Jason Aldean, His Royal Highness, Sugarland, John Conley, just to name a few, and you. And tell your friends about us. And take us everywhere. Yeah, on your computer with TuneIn, iTunes. Live 365 is how I roll here. Even in the vehicle with your Bluetooth. Never settle for less than King's Country at kingscountry.net. And tell your friends about us. Got a couple of bills to pay with Big and Rich coming up next. King's Country at kingscountry.net. Thanks for riding shotgun with me, Cadillac style, through the noon hour. I'm Jim King of the radio, serving up some Blake Shelton in just a moment. And Blake Shelton surprised Hoda Kotb during her final week on the Today Show and shared an old story that made everyone blush. Apparently, Hoda had a crush on him for years.
He talked about Hoda saying I was her first love or whatever, but I did run into her in Nashville one time, and I thought it was going to be our moment, and she completely ran away from me. I mean, she ran away from me, like totally afraid of me.
Wait, what?
Yes. Remember at the number one party, I was like, Hoda, you're here. You're like, I gotta go, and you ran.
Cut me loose and called herself a somewhere wind.
Come on in and welcome to King's Country at kingscountry.net. Jim King of the radio behind the wheel. I promise to keep it between the ditches on the radio and TV. Yeah, and it's my time to shine in the boob tube. Episode number 960 set to air several more times in Southeast Texas on Fox 4, the CW, Strike TV, and YouTube. It's all about Mark Chestnut and George Jones in this one. In fact, we're going to cruise back to the George Jones tribute they did in Vidor, Texas, one of his old stomping grounds. I saw his old house yesterday that he owned in 1960. It's still there on 1131, Highway 1131. The address, I believe, is 1375. Still there, beautiful home, but could use a fresh coat of paint and a little work, if you know what I mean. Anyway, check that out on my Facebook page. Got a lot of likes and loves and comments. Closing in on 2,000. So check out the show. Here's the audio from that 2013 tribute to the possum in his old hometown.
Oh, I was so lost. Oh, but now I'm found. I was blind. Oh, but now I see.
After George Jones passed away in 2013, his family, friends, and colleagues gathered at a packed Benoit Lewis Hall in Vidor, Texas, to celebrate his legendary life and career. Among those in attendance was his eldest sister, Helen Scroggins Jones.
Well, I love my brother because he always looked after me and seen that I didn't need nothing.
Tell about his great singing.
Yeah, and I love to hear him sing up till he died.
And tell him about on your daddy's grave. You're going to tell that.
And I wanted the one that wrote Watching from the Window Up Above. My husband loved that song, and so I put it on his tombstone.
You want to thank everybody?
Huh?
You want to thank everybody?
Thank y'all.
Before I go, I want to tell y'all one little story.
Come on, girl.
Okay. When I was 2 or 3, I can't remember how because I was so young, but we moved to a farm in Waco. It was a cotton farm. And every summer, George would come and stay with us for a while. And I can't tell you how many times my daddy told the story about when he would come. He had never been around cows, never been around chickens. And so when he found out that eggs and milk came from cows and chickens, he said he was never going to eat them again. He said his eggs and milk came from the grocery store. And that's what he wanted, the ones from the grocery store. So I just want to tell y'all all we love you. We thank you. And I know George's music 50 years from now will be just as popular as it is right now.
We also heard from the legendary George Jones' sons, Jeffrey and Brian.
Just to have all these folks, love him and still listen to his music and support us, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm so thankful for everyone here. Thank you so much.
What was it like growing up in George Jones' household?
It was exciting.
It was wild.
Tumultuous sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of good times, a lot of good memories.
incredible talent he was, and I actually got to speak with him one time. I was working at a local radio station in Beaumont, and he called me up, and it was like one of the biggest thrills of my life.
Kicker 95.1, it's Jim King. Hello.
Jim, this is George Jones. How are you?
Hey, George, how are you, man?
Well, we're doing pretty good for an old man.
This is your hometown you're calling. You know that? Well, you know that.
Yeah, boy, we're looking forward to it. We always are. And anytime we come anywhere close to Beaumont and Texas.
Also appearing at the George Jones Southeast Texas Tribute Inviter was former George Jones bandmate and songwriter Earl Peanut Montgomery.
And I've written a song. There's a new book coming out. My wife's the author of it, and they're going to make a movie from the book, and they want me to write the song, and this is what I've written. I don't have it finished, but because they're copying it with the media, you can't steal it because it's just now been copyrighted. Here it is right here. The Legend of George Jones. That's the name of the book. I've got a good melody to this, too. I'm not going to sing. I'm going to read it to you, recite it. In 1931, a Texas mother gave birth to a son. She named him George, the singer of songs. In 6 days, God made heaven and earth. The 7th day, he rested from his work. And on the 8th day, he created the legend of George Jones. Songs began to fill the air like a Sunday morning choir. Sounded like angels singing round heaven's throne. The opera has never been the same since the announcer said his name. Like wildfire, spread the legend of George Jones.
It's all about George Jones and Mark Chestnut on this weekend's Jim King of the TV show. Several more opportunities to see it. Can't wait. I can't wait to see my alma mater, University of Texas, Hook 'em Horns tonight. Needless to say, we're canceling date night, me and Suzanne Simmons. I'm going to get myself a cold beverage and park myself in front of the TV. Hook 'em Horns tonight, taking on Ohio State. Wouldn't want to be at that game. It's going to be frigid cold.
Riding off in the sunset, blue eyes under my Stetson.
Thanks for streaming King's Country at kingscountry.net. I'm Jim King, and in case you've been living under a rock, you probably have heard all about the fires in the Los Angeles area over the last several days. That was my old stomping grounds for over a decade. I moved there in the early 80s and lived all the way till the early 90s there in Los Angeles area, mostly in Hollywood, in West Hollywood. But those are horrific fires that they've had in the Palisades. Just 8 miles away from my best friend's house. He lives in Marina Del Rey. I visited there several times. He says he thinks he's safe there. He's surrounded by water, so should be okay. And he's not up in the hills where the Santa Ana winds were whipping through there at 100-mile-per-hour gusts. Well, sadly, Los Angeles police are now saying that the Kenneth fire was intentionally set and that citizens detained the suspect. Your senior lead officer, Charles Denzel, talking about what happened.
What we know right now is that the incident occurred, started here, and about 30 minutes later, a suspect was detained over in Woodland Hills area by citizens. It's being investigated as a crime.
It ain't hip to sing about tractors, trucks, little towns, or mama.
Well, that does it for the Jim King of the radio show, TGIF edition. Don't miss the TV version this weekend, airing several times more on Fox 4, the CW, Strike TV, and YouTube. And if you get a chance, join me tomorrow out at Larry's Old Time Trade Days. I'm going to go out there and capture some video. Supposed to have a high of around 50, so that'd be like a heat wave tomorrow. And then I think to 60 on Sunday. So we're looking forward to that. We've just had some blustery days here in Beaumont, several very cold days. We barely got over 40 during the day and got down in the 20s and teens if you factor in the wind chill overnight. That looks like that's going to be in the rear view very soon, but still cold at night. I'm no weather forecaster, but I am a TV host, and don't miss the show this weekend. Keep it between the ditches. Have a good one. And we'll talk soon. Later, Gators.
Long live the king.
Uh-huh.